What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to my review of the Elevation discs. We got a 2-for-1 special. We have the Koi and also the Interceptor. These are in their EcoFlex recycled rubber, vulcanized rubber material, and these are really, really unique discs on the market. Thank you very much to Elevation Discs for sending me these to test and review, and also for their patience as I worked my way through so many other discs. I've had these in the inventory for quite a while, and I'm really, really happy to finally get them posted in the playlist for you guys to reference. Okay, so as we said, we're going to do a 2-for-1 special. We're going to take a look at the Interceptor, and we're going to take a look at the Koi. Let's start with the Interceptor. So, the Interceptor is an overstable approach disc, overstable mid-range type disc. Now, this one is in the EcoFlex vulcanized recycled rubber material, and this one is 170 grams. Elevation disc, all family owned, designed in the USA, made in China, and it is marked Interceptor right there. And you can see this disc has a little thumb track. It's got a little flat edge right there, right next to the thumb track as well, for whatever reason. And it also kind of reminds me of like a pig in terms of shape, is the closest thing I could think of, but it is shallower, faster, and definitely a little bit more of like a kind of a little bit more mid-rangey than a pig, I would say, in terms of the way it flies. They originally sent us their Run 4 Interceptor in the original blend of silicone rubber that was incredibly soft and gummy, and it was just tricky for me to throw. With my style of throwing, it was quite tricky to get much distance on it. It really just kind of was like really nice for like little chip shots that I wanted to stick next to the basket, but it wasn't really useful for much else outside of that, for my opinion and my game. Then they released the EcoFlex, and I wanted to check this out because it has a little bit more firmness to it, even though still obviously extremely soft, and plenty soft to get you just phenomenal low ground play in terms of your approach shots with this disc. So the EcoFlex material, once I started testing it, it does just what I wanted it to do. It's much easier to throw and control out of the hand, but it still lands and just boom, eats the impact, and it goes nowhere when it lands, which is really nice. The only way these ever move on the ground is sometimes you throw it and it spikes so much that it lands straight down and it kind of springs itself back up again, which could maybe be an issue if it was really windy or something. But if this thing lands with any kind of like subtle angle, and if it lands flat, forget about it. It moves not an inch when it lands, just boom, it's down and it's right next to the pin. If you did your job correctly, it's sitting right in your putting range, and it's really nice for those little chip shots like that. So yeah, that's the Interceptor. The flight numbers on this run of Interceptor, which they kind of fluctuate a little bit based on the run, which I respect, is 5.4, -1, and 2. And I'd say maybe closer to like a 4 speed, but it is pretty shallow, low profile, mid-rangey in terms of the feel. I never really thought about it that much, and I never really looked at the flight numbers until the filming of this video. So yeah, I would say those numbers are pretty on. It definitely has a little bit of ride to it, and the fade isn't too aggressive, but it holds a chip hyzer really, really nice, which is what I would use it for 9 times out of 10, would be like a little approach chip shot that you want to dig and stick and not move too far past the basket. Let's put it next to some other options before we move on to the Koi. I got a stack of stuff to show you guys in this particular video. Okay, the first one, the most obvious as far as I'm concerned, is this is a Wysocki Pig, 2019, 2018, something like that, Tour Series Pig. You can see the kind of reminiscent shape there, but it is much more low profile, thinner in the hand, has more of a mid-rangey feel in the hand for sure. Definitely has a bit more quickness in the air. The Pig is kind of slow, kind of a hog of a disc, as you might expect. Similar on top in terms of the depth and size of the flight plate. And yeah, when I picked it up, I was like, oh, kind of piggish, but you know, shallower, lower profile was the first thing that popped into my head. Next, we have the Caltrop, which is another disc that I'm extremely experienced with. I've thrown countless shots with this soft Caltrop here, but the Caltrop has a very similar thumb track there, but much deeper, and it's just a kind of a rounded outside edge there. This is a Latitude 0 soft, as a little bit of a flexibility comparison. Once again, I mean, just look at the difference there. Just ridiculous. The only thing that's really in the ballpark from Latitude would be the old defunct out of production MegaSoft plastic. And even this, you know, this is real soft. This is really soft, really gummy. Still not quite the same as the EcoFlex. I mean, the thing is just ridiculously soft. You could fold this thing up into a ball and throw it like that if you want to. I'm not sure why you would, but so that's my quick review on the Interceptor, and let's jump over to its brother, the Koi. The Koi is more of a traditional putter shape, and it's got that kind of rounded outside edge to it. The flight numbers of the Koi, according to this particular run, 3, 4, -2, and 0. I would say that's pretty on. It's definitely got some float to it, and it's quite understable. It wants to kind of move soft to the right, but if you throw it on some hyzer, it'll flip up, fly quite straight. And one of the things I really liked about the Koi is how well it putts. Inside the circle, this thing comes out of the hand good, obviously catches in the chains extremely well. And taking a look at the bottom here, 172 on the Koi. Once again, it's on the USA, made in China. Elevation Disc Golf, family owned. Yeah, so this one has much more traditional putter shape to it, also in the Eco Flex material, and also incredibly soft and flexible. You know, you could do that to it again if you want to, and all that kind of good stuff. And what surprised me about the Koi is, once again, how throwable it is. It feels so floppy in the hand that you feel like you're not going to be able to release it the way you want to. But once you just kind of get out of your own way and just throw the thing, it flies awesome. And the same deal. And this is a straight to understable disc, but once it lands, and it goes absolutely nowhere. This one even has less ground play than the Interceptor, probably. And if you play courses that require you to throw up and down shots that need to sit and can't afford to scoot and bounce and jump around when they land near the basket, you play like De La, hard pan type of shots, or places that have drop off behind the baskets and stuff like that, this is a really effective and useful disc. Now, of course, the first thing you're going to think of when you see a disc like this, especially if you're an old guy like me, is the Blowfly. Blowfly, previously reviewed, and actually quite well viewed here on the channel. One of my more popular reviews, which kind of surprised me. I honestly just edited it as a data point, but maybe there's just not that many other reviews on this thing, but a lot of you have checked out this video on the Blowfly, and just to spell it out to you right now, the Blowfly and the Koi is every bit as soft as the Blowfly, if not more so, and just way, way more throwable for me. Just not even close. I find the Koi to be much more useful in actual flight. The Blowfly has that weird kind of squared front edge, and the biggest thing that makes this thing odd is this slanted inside edge. So there's no flat surface for you to grip against. So you either fan grip this thing or you don't throw it well, basically. And even when you do fan grip it, me and James had just a terrible time getting this thing to fly the way we want to. The Koi, no real such problem. So let's take a look at the difference in the softness. Once again, the Blowfly, incredibly soft as well. I mean, plenty soft, really. It's also got a rubbery, grippy feel. I would say the Koi is more grippy. It has more... Hear that? You know, it's there. It's got these lines. I mean, the grip is unbelievable on the Blowfly. Don't get me wrong. We're kind of splitting hairs here. But just on a head-to-head battle, I take the Koi all day, every day. I mean, just in every aspect. It throws better, feels better, looks better, and it has all the great ground play, or the lack thereof, that you would expect from a Blowfly in a much more throwable and comfortable feeling package. It's got that much more traditional shape and design. Let's take a look at it next to a couple other options besides the Blowfly before we wrap this video up. We got the Discraft Roach. This is a very rounded disc, basically the same disc as a Luna. They're within 0.01 millimeters of each other in PDGA specs, which I always find hilarious. You know, similar kind of super rounded outside edge, even maybe a bit more rounded than the Roach. The Roach kind of slips this way a bit more, and the Koi is just very round on the outside, very comfortable feel in the hand. And also, another recent disc added to the inventory. This is a Jester Discs Love Putter, and this one is in there firm plastic. Yeah, there's no real flexibility there. That same flexibility does this to that disc, the same amount of pressure. So just to give you an idea of just how different it is, and this is another quick look at another beadless putter. I always like to show you guys at least a couple things to get an idea of. The Koi doesn't really have a dome to it, but it's kind of hard to say because, as you can see, as I've flexed it and stuff, it kind of lost some shape there. And it's probably going to, I mean, I guess I don't really know, but I would guess it would probably get some little, you know, some little bumps and wiggles on the surface of this thing as you continue to throw it and carry it over time. So if you want a really, really soft, gummy putter to just have maximum ability to grab the chains, maximum ability to sit down when it lands and not go too far past the basket if you miss, or a disc that you can trust to sit down on risky approaches. The Koi would be a great disc to have in your bag. And if I was going to bag one of the two, I'd probably end up going with the Koi, just because I feel like it's a bit more versatile with that understability. I can throw it straight, and I don't need to play a hyzer as much on an approach with this disc if I want it to sit down, because if it lands flat, it goes nowhere. All in all, a really, really nice putter, short-range approach disc. Be a great disc for like playing catch as well. Awesome disc for that if you want to warm up, play some catch, because it's so gummy. It's not going to hurt anybody or hurt anything if you try to grab it while it's flying. So nice disc for that. Would be a great backyard disc as well, in case you hit the house or whatever. You're less likely to break anything. Great disc for kids, all that kind of stuff. And just a really fun and unique disc to have available to you. I'll hold on to this Koi for sure. And maybe I'll bring it out in the woods now and again just to let it fly and see how it does. But that is my review on the Elevation Discs Koi and Interceptor 2-for-1 special added to the playlist right now, sitting at over 300 disc reviews in that playlist. Check it out in the description below if you want to learn more information about Elevation Discs, my sponsors, my supporters, or anything else. And thank you very much once again to Elevation Discs for sending me these to test and review, for their patience as I continue to work my way through all this plastic and gear. And of course, thank you to you for watching. My Disc Golf Nerd Patreon support team, my fans, my viewers, friends, subscribers. I love you all, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon. Cheers.